Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
To appear in court next week after they were arrested last night. Good evening, I'm Chelsea Sick. Thanks for joining us. The students were arrested in Baker Center during a sit-in protest. The demonstrators gathered to declare Ohio University campus a sanctuary following President Trump's travel ban of 7 mostly Muslim countries. Josh Gregory has more on what happened to students at Baker Center and what they can expect.
Between 7:30 and 8 o'clock p.m., Ohio University police arrested and charged 70 students with criminal trespass in response to a student protest.
There was a core strong enough of us who just wanted to stay here and fight for what we believed in. I ended up being one of the students arrested. They put us all in either zip ties or, when they ran out, handcuffs.
Ohio University Police Chief Andrew Powers told the group any student remaining in the Baker Center lobby past 7:30 p.m. would be detained.
One thing that really stood out to me is I don't remember them reading anybody their rights. They literally just came in, just took you, and just took you back there.
The protest started yesterday evening when around 300 protesters began to march from the Athens County Courthouse. The march ended with the arrests at Baker Student Center. Not every student in Baker at the time was arrested.
All the people who are standing around who are actually obstructing the way of people to move.
Agitators.
We're agitators, but they didn't get arrested.
The university felt the students began to create safety hazards by blocking fire exits.
I think the rationale of what happened last night was really around safety and giving them the opportunity to assemble in a space that was better for them and better for folks that wanted to use Baker Center.
The students disagree.
The claims that we were blocking exits, there's a fire hazard or whatever, it's just garbage.
Pat McGee, the managing attorney for Ohio Student Legal Services, will try to meet with students over the weekend before court appearances next week. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Josh Gregory.
Thanks, Josh. It's unclear what kind of backlash the university may receive from protesters over these arrests. President Trump's latest executive order forbids citizens of 7 countries to enter the U.S. for 90 days. Newswatch's Arnold Vanda spoke with students and OU officials to find out how the ban is impacting the university community.
Several students and faculty of Ohio University are affected by the ban. They are not allowed to re-enter the U.S. if they were to leave. University officials would not release the number of people affected by the order because of federal privacy laws. Krista McCullum, the director of the International Student and Faculty Services, says the office is offering counseling and reaching out to students to help them understanding the executive order.
One of the challenges with this particular executive order is there's some very vague language, and so we're not entirely sure what it is going to mean, and so we're trying to get information and then share that with students and make sure that they're getting good, solid immigration advice and understanding how this could affect them.
One of the students who is impacted by the ban is Raman Rabbani from Iran. He came to Athens to get his PhD in chemistry. Rabbani is convinced the ban will be bad for America's economy and educational institutions.
I have some friends in Iran that, exactly like me, they want to come here to do their PhD, and because of the ban they cannot. I know friends who got admitted in one of the top schools here for chemistry, but because of the ban, he's right now thinking to go to Canada.
Rabbani finds it unjust that every Iranian is under general suspicion now. The political changes make him question his decision to come to the US.
I feel sad, exhausted, and depressed by the decision, because I'm thinking that it stops me or my family to visiting each other. I'm feeling that I am in cage, in prison.
The last time Rabbani saw his family was 2 years ago. He planned to visit them this summer. Now, he's hoping the ban will only last the scheduled 90 days and won't be renewed. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Arnold Vanda.
Members of Ohio University who are affected by the executive order can contact the ISFS. The ISFS will help those who have questions or concerns. You can reach them under 740-593-5333. 617-438-4330 or send them an email to isfs@ohio.edu. The Athens Police Department has received tips on the shooting of the Athens man who was shot 2 weeks ago. 29-year-old Alex Andrews was shot through his kitchen window and sustained injuries to his head, neck, torso, and leg. He was released from a Huntington hospital last week and is continuing his recovery. Police Chief Tom Pyle said the tips, including what he calls people of interest. Andrews is the owner of the Thunder Bunny Tattoo Parlor, and his co-workers are working with the Union Bar and Alex's band to hold a benefit blast next Monday. We had chilly temperatures the past few days, and today was no different. Good evening and welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Allison Gens. Right now in Athens, it's 31 degrees. We have mostly cloudy skies out there tonight, and our winds are west-southwest at 3 miles per hour. Now, looking around our region here, we have temperatures in the Chillicothe police are investigating more than 10 overdoses in the span of 2 days. Police say there were a total of 12 overdoses between Tuesday and Wednesday. One was fatal. Police recently seized drugs positive of carfentanil. The elephant tranquilizer is 100 times more powerful than heroin. Officials cannot confirm if carfentanil was involved with the recent overdoses. Police will release more information about the investigation sometime today. More than $2 million will go to new trauma centers across Ohio. The Ohio Attorney General announced grants to create a network of centers for victims of violence. The locations include Cincinnati, Columbus, Springfield, and Cleveland.
I'm proud to say that Ohio is the second state in the nation to have such a network. Well, as I indicated, we didn't dream up this program ourselves. We looked to California, where the University of California at San Francisco and the UCSF Medical Center were the first to begin a trauma recovery center network out west in the Golden State. As a result of their program, UCSF reports that 75% of patients showed an improvement in overall mental health, 75%.
The grant funding comes from federal settlements, fines, and fees. Cincinnati is now a sanctuary city. The symbolic label typically indicates less cooperation with federal immigration authorities. Mayor John Cranley says Cincinnati has welcomed and supported immigrants, but won't break federal law. President Donald Trump threatened to withhold money from local jurisdictions that don't cooperate with federal immigration authorities. There's drama on Capitol Hill as Senate Democrats attempt to stall Trump's cabinet picks. That story's coming up. And from protests on OU's campus to UC Berkeley, a violent protest breaks out against a scheduled speaker. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric III, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Harwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at Junior_3. As always, I'm Eric 3 II, reminding you to be heroic.
A protest over a so-called alt-right speaker at University of California's Berkeley campus last night turned violent. Milo Yiannopoulos, known for his support of the white nationalist movement, was scheduled to speak. Protesters were lighting fires, tearing down barriers, and throwing fireworks. Yiannopoulos has since left UC Berkeley's campus, and the event has been canceled. The campus was on lockdown until just before 11 last night. Classes are in session today. Senate Democrats boycott hearings and continue their efforts to stall President Trump's cabinet picks. But a few Republicans have concerns about particular nominees as well. Karen Kafa looks at another dramatic day on Capitol Hill.
When Senate Democrats boycotted a committee vote again, Senate Republicans changed the rules again.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Without the numbers to sync nominations on their own, Democrats have tried stalling them. But after they didn't show up for a second scheduled vote on EPA nominee Scott Pruitt, the GOP suspended the rules and voted without them, moving Pruitt's nomination to the floor unanimously.
The minority wants political theater. The nation needs a new EPA administrator.
South Carolina Congressman Mick Mulvaney's nomination to be budget director was approved by 2 committees along party lines, but Republican Senator John McCain wouldn't commit to final confirmation.
Given Congressman Mulvaney's record on defense spending, including his vote to withdraw all forces from Afghanistan, I continue to have concerns about his nomination to be OMB director.
After voting for approval in committee, Republican Senators Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski now say they'll vote no on Betsy DeVos. That means the Education Secretary nominee will need all 50 remaining Republicans, plus Vice President Mike Pence as a tiebreaker for final confirmation. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson started his new job, nodding to recent tensions between some diplomats and the Trump White House and urging unity.
But we cannot let our personal convictions overwhelm our ability to work as one team.
Tillerson was confirmed by the Senate on Wednesday. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Some prospective cabinet members waiting for confirmation include the Department of the Treasury, Steven Mnuchin, Department of Justice, Jeff Sessions, and Department of Health and Human Services, Tom Price. From Trump's appointments to his wife, Melania, who made her first hire as First Lady today. She chose Lindsay Reynolds to serve as assistant to President Trump and Chief of Staff for Melania Trump. Reynolds has experience serving in the White House as she previously worked under George W. Bush. The First Lady's staff is responsible for running White House public tours, planning state dinners, and announcing her official causes. On Wall Street today, stocks varied across the board. Here is a look at stocks of local interest. The Super Bowl is this Sunday, and the big game comes with big costs. We'll break down the budget coming up.
Well, more cold temperatures are on the way, and some rain and snow might be coming into the mix. I'll tell you what you can expect in my extended forecast next on Newswatch.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like we're having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
Welcome back to Newswatch. This morning's America's Furriest Weatherman gave his forecast for the next 6 weeks. Punxsutawney Phil delivered his annual prediction to fans in Pennsylvania. According to legend, if he sees his shadow, we should expect 6 more weeks of winter. But if he doesn't, an early spring is likely. This year, the weather forecasting groundhog is calling for 6 more weeks of winter. And in Ohio, Buckeye Chuck also saw his shadow this morning, meaning 6 more weeks of winter weather in the state. Now let's send it over to...
Well, Chelsea, our own winter, our groundhog here was predicting 6 more weeks of winter, and I'll tell you that it looks like we might be seeing some of that on the way for our upcoming week. But right now, let's looking at our temperatures. They're dropping as we head into our overnight hours. We have 31 in Athens, 30 in New Lexington, 29 in Cambridge, and 32 in Marietta. Now, our almanac today is showing that our high temperature was not very high, but we are right on track for our normal. 37 degrees was our high temperature. Our normal is 38. Our record was 65, set back in 1989. Now, looking at our PRECIPCAST tonight, not much going on, nothing really to worry about going on right here, but there is a high pressure system that's building out in the Midwest that's going to begin working its way in to our region. You'll start to see that moving in for tomorrow. It's beginning to creep its way in. That's going to keep our conditions pretty dry, pretty clear for the next few days, but that's not going to be the case as we head into next week, and I'll get to that a little bit later in my forecast. Now, temperatures overnight tonight dropping down to the low 20s and upper teens, 19 in Newark, 20 in Cambridge, 21 in Marietta, 23 in Ripley, with mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies across the region. Now tomorrow, not warming up very much here. We have 32 for Athens and Ripley, 34 in Marietta, 30 in Cambridge, and we'll see a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day, so it's going to be chilly, so make sure you bring your winter coat, your winter hat, because it will be another cold day out there again. Now tonight, again, dropping to 21 degrees for our overnight temperatures. Those frigid cold and mostly cloudy throughout the night. Winds northwest 8 to 10 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, let me walk you through over hour by hour and break that down. 28 degrees by 8 p.m., 24 by midnight, and then 21 degrees by 4 a.m. with that mix of those partly cloudy skies throughout the night. Now, tomorrow, at your bus stop, 22 degrees in the morning. So like I said, make sure your kids have their hat and their gloves on, because it'll be a cold morning as you take them off to the bus stop with cloudy skies. But then it's going to continue to be cold as they come home in the afternoon. 32 degrees for our afternoon high with overcast skies. And like I said, it's going to be another cold day. It is winter, and we had that 6 weeks of winter prediction. So it looks like that is holding out for us there. And when we break that down, 22 degrees early in our 8 a.m. temperature. By noon, 29 degrees, and then by around 4 o'clock, we'll be near our high temperature with 30 degrees and mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. Looking at your 7-day forecast, 32 on Friday, warming up a little bit to 35, then warming back up for Sunday and Monday, 45 for Sunday, 50 on Monday, and then warmer on Tuesday, but then we start to see a mix of rain and snow as we head into next week. So some winter weather is on the way, and then temperatures do drop again for Thursday.
All right, thanks, Allison. The Super Bowl is almost here. As an event, Forbes says the Super Bowl is the most valuable sporting event in the world. And today's Consumer Watch, Mary Maloney, breaks down the Super Bowl budget of the Super Bowl.
If you want to go to the big game, it's going to cost you. The lowest price on SeatGeek right now runs in the $2,000 range. A listing on the 50-yard line in the lower bowl is running for nearly $24,000. But you could get tickets in that same section for about $5,000. Companies wanting to cash in will have to pay a pretty penny. The average price of a 30-second commercial is about $5 million. That's up from about $4.8 million last year. One person who won't get paid? Lady Gaga. Like recent past performers, she won't get a cent from the NFL for her halftime show. But don't feel sorry for Mother Monster. Bruno Mars and Beyonce both saw their album sales skyrocket after the Super Bowl. Whether you watch for the commercials, the music, or even the game, the Super Bowl spectacle will be super expensive. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
The Super Bowl is this Sunday evening with kickoff at 6:30. And now we will head over to Kellyanne for a look at sports.
Thanks, Chelsea. Good evening, everyone. We have a packed sportscast tonight, starting with a huge day in football yesterday, signing day. Find out who will join the Bobcat football team for next season, and find out how the Cavaliers heated things up last night in the Quicken Loans Arena despite the frigid weather, and much more, all up next on Newswatch. Stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric III, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at junior_3. As always, I'm Eric III, reminding you to be heroic.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Welcome back, I'm Kellyanne Stitz. Newswatch's Blake Baker headed over to Peden yesterday to see who will be sporting green and white for the team next year.
21 new faces will run out of Peden Stadium's tunnel this fall after officially penning their futures to Ohio University on National Signing Day. The commitments include players from 10 different states and 1 from Canada. The focus for this year's class was interior players, as 9 of the 21 recruits play either offensive or defensive line. In the past, the Bobcats' depth at these positions has been vitally important, and Coach Frank Solich emphasized keeping this depth intact.
It seems to me that you can't have enough depth in both the offensive and defensive lines. One of the things that was valuable to us this past year is we were too deep in the defensive line, and those guys were able to play hard the whole time they were on the field.
Solich also focused on the defensive backfield, perhaps the defense's weakest unit last season. 4 new commits will provide additional aggressiveness and playmaking ability to that secondary.
Not only did Coach Solich cite the efforts of his coaches and current players in recruiting guys from 10 different states this National Signing Day, he also cited Ohio football's frequent appearances on ESPN as another driving force.
That allows us to really recruit around the country. We're on TV nationally as well as the other MAC schools are, and so we can reach out.
Just 2 of the signees have already enrolled. The other 19 will hit the ground running in the spring. For WOUB's Newswatch at noon, I'm Blake Baker.
The 21 commits will bleed green and white for the team next fall in the loaded 2017 schedule against opponents from Purdue to MAC foe Kent State. Basketball season is in full swing, and a MAC battle happened last night, ending in a loss for Ohio. Women's basketball traveled to Michigan but returned home with a 64-59 loss against Central Michigan. Despite the loss, the team still has some achievements to brag about. Kiara Lampkins totaled 24 on the night and is now 3rd all-time in scoring in Ohio history. Kelly Carlos grabbed a career high in rebounds. The team is now 16-5 overall and 7-3 in MAC play. The Bobcats will take the court again on Saturday when they host Toledo. Tip-off is set for 3 p.m. Tonight, Hardboard Heroes will be covering 3 big games in TVC play. The games include Trimble at Federal Hocking and Vinton County at Athens. But the big game on the slate is Belpre at Eastern. The Belpre girls are currently 3rd in the Hocking division, while Eastern holds 2nd. Heading to Cleveland, where the Cavaliers hosted and dominated the Minnesota Timberwolves last night, 125-97. The Cavs' key to the win is credited to their explosive second-half performance and use of ball movement that the team lacked last month. LeBron James led the team, scoring in 27 points, and clutch point guard Kyrie Irving had 14 points and a career-high 14 assists for Cleveland. The team recorded a season-high 37 assists. Star forward Kevin Love did not see the court last night due to back spasms. The Cavs will return to action Saturday when they visit New York to take on the Knicks. I'm Kellyanne Stitz, and that's all we have for sports tonight. Back to you, Chelsea.
Thanks, Kellyanne. Grizzly Bear from a zoo in Montana has made his pick for the Super Bowl this year. Ozzy was given 2 banana pancakes decorated with the team logos. He took a small bite out of the Patriots pancake, declaring them the winners of this weekend's Super Bowl. He did not seem too thrilled by either team and eventually knocked over both cakes. The 680-pound Grizzly proved right the last 3 years and has become a national sensation.
Well, let's see if that Grizzly Bear can predict the forecast just like our Buckeye Chuck and Puxatawny Phil did here. Now let's just take a final look at your forecast for tonight. 21 degrees as our low with those frigid cold temperatures, and it's going to be mostly cloudy overnight tonight. Winds northwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, not warming up very much at all. 32 degrees for our high temperature. It's going to be an overcast days. Again, it's going to be very frigid as you head out, so make sure you bring along your jacket, put on your winter gloves and hat because it's going to be another cold one tomorrow. And looking at your extended forecast here, temperatures do look to warm up just a little bit as we head into Friday. 32 degrees, then by Saturday 35 with mostly sunny skies. Then by Sunday, 45 degrees, so warming up there for your late part of your weekend. By Monday, 50 degrees with a chance of some rain and possibly some snow in the early morning hours. Then by Tuesday, 57 degrees. That looks like it's going to be one of our warmest days that we're going to be feeling as we finish through our winter season here, with a 90% chance of rain throughout the day, and that chance of rain continues into Wednesday with 44 degrees, then temperatures dropping back into Thursday. Chelsea?
Thanks, Allison, and that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Chelsea Sick. Stay tuned for the PBS News Hour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.